Hi, this is Amir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zacks Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 12th of March. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which has defied skeptics and bounced off the 50-day moving average, bounced through the top of that symmetrical triangle. We were hoping for a breakout there to hit the top of the August trend channel there from last year, 78.50 by the end of this month. And as of today, it looks as though that is possibly achievable. We've had three bounces off neutral RSI 50, which must be something of a record for this market as a leading indicator on the upside. And we're looking for the upside while we remain above the top of that triangle, the broken triangle there, 76.95. Moving on to the DAX, which has obviously done rather better than the FTSE for various reasons. And here, still hugging the area of that red September resistance line projection. That was our 17,800 target. We've actually had a decent sideways consolidation since the beginning of the month, based at 17,600. End of day close through 17,900 could be enough to take this market up to 18,400. We were saying by the end of next month to be conservative, but obviously it could happen rather quicker than that. Moving along to the Dow, and here you can see that we've had the rebounds here above a rising 50-day line. We haven't needed to test that 50-day line, which is a bullish sign. And looking for a break of that February resistance line there at 39,000, end of day close above that. And we could be looking to as high as 41,000 by the end of next month, which is the top of that October trend channel. I suppose that line is a little bit too steep, and probably realistically it's more in the 40,000 area, but that is obviously a matter of opinion. Moving along to Bitcoin, which is steady near the or above the record high, previous record highs. Had a great day yesterday. Now looking for consolidation to happen, basically at and above yesterday's support area, 67,500. That's also the floor of that rising trend channel, the steep one since January. We're looking for as high as 81,000 by the end of next month, and obviously the way things have been going, that could actually happen by the end of this month, but one has to be sort of conservative in these matters normally. Moving along to gold, and gold obviously inspired by the rise in Bitcoin, but gold was the old version of Bitcoin, I suppose. Here above 2190, and that target that we hit, the March, top of the March 2022-2023 resistance or rising trend channel. Looking for 2260 by the end of this month. That should be a decent target, and we're looking for that while we remain above the 2150 zone, which was the old December resistance. So above 2150, looking for 2260 on gold. Great breakout there, and you can see consecutive blue candles there for days on end. So absolutely fantastic for gold bugs, although it's not really showing in stocks yet. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Coinsilium, which is on the Aquis market and has managed to shrug off that aspect. Here you can see that the market in a consolidation, I suppose it's a triangle consolidation really, from January. So looking for that line to break there around 3.15 pence. If we can break that, then we're looking for 5 pence perhaps as soon as the end of this month, which is a resistance line projection from back in 2022. So everything to play for there, especially while we're above the rising 50-day line at 2.5 pence. On to Cadence, which seems to have stabilized quite well after last week's sharp gains. In fact, we bounced off the 50-day line, which is now rising at 5.25 above that. Looking for at least a retest of last week's resistance at 6.75, and then ideally by up to 8 pence by the end of next month, or even sooner. Next up is Ferrexpo, which is slightly outside our pay grade here, but we've got the position here where we've broken a line of support there. That was back in August, and we're looking for the market to basically deliver a dead cat bounce from current levels above 48 pence. We've got the best case scenario target of basically retracing half the fall from 70 pence down to 48 pence, so that would take us into the low 60s there. So maybe another 7-8 pence to go, even if the shares then fall away after that. On to global petroleum, which has been an interesting and active market in the recent past. We've had one or two board changes as well. Here you can see that the shares have fallen after the news yesterday, but we are on a support line there, it's 007, I suppose you could call it, and above 007, looking for 0.12 pence, maybe as a dead cat bounce reaction over the next 2 to 4 weeks, but we really have to hold that 007 level, otherwise not looking great. Onto Helium 1, and here you can see that it's all about the 50-day moving average. That's still rising. We had an end-of-day close back below, but the shares seem to want to close back above it at 1.37. We get an end-of-day close above 1.37 versus 1.42 now, then we could be back at least to the 2.25 pence area, and the main resistance line there from last month at that level. Next up is Libertine, which had a flurry last month, and it looks like it's ready to have another flurry now. We're dancing along the 200-day moving average and gapped up today, so that suggests that above the 200-day line at 4.1 pence, we're looking for a retest of last month's resistance at 7.5 pence, hopefully as soon as the end of next month. On to Neometals, which is continuing its slow recovery. We've got a broadening triangle base here. We've got a strong candle today, and we're looking for a break of the 50-day moving average at 8.6 pence to take us up to 10 pence, hopefully by the end of this month. Upside value while we hold above the recent resistance at 8 pence on an end-of-day close basis. Maybe you could stretch that to 7.5 basis, the February late resistance for that market. Primoris is next, and we covered this on the initial gush that we had to the upside back in January. We've got a rising trend channel here from the end of October. Top of the channel here heading towards as high as 9 pence, which we're looking for by the end of next month, while we remain above the 50-day line area just below the 4 pence level. On to the last two. First one is Shuka, which has spent a long time consolidating, but the overall pattern here to cheer up the bulls is within a rising trend channel based at 9.3 pence and heading up to 18 pence, and we're looking for that to happen by the end of next month. Obviously, if you're cautious, you wait for an end-of-day close through 12 pence to then target 18 pence on a technical basis. Finishing off with Vinanz, which is clearly a slight play on the crypto situation at the moment. Here you can see that we've had this market in place since early November, and there still hasn't been a red candle on the daily chart. So I don't think that must be something of a record to have 4 or 5 months of that kind of situation. We're looking for the top of a rising trend channel, which is heading up to 16 pence to be hit maybe as soon as the end of this month, while we remain above the floor of the channel at 12 pence. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.